All right, welcome back to another episode of Life on the Ave. This is episode 115. I'm here with John Fusco of Wilmington Brew Works, pouring a first beautiful, beautiful beer. It looks delicious.
It is delicious.
I wish I could partake in one of these. I'm sticking to my lemonade. What are we pouring?
Superfluous nomenclature.
In OJ.
Or OG Pale Ale.
Obsessed. All right, well, let me dive into him
and
his amazing background. There's so much to learn about him. So today's guest, John, is the creative engine behind one of Delaware's most beloved breweries. Super excited to welcome him, the VP of Creative and Brand Marketing at Wilmington Brew Works. If you've ever admired a Wilmington Brew Works beer, label, logo, t-shirt, or Instagram post, chances are that John had his hand in it. What makes his story so fun is he did not start in marketing at all. John is a Marine engineer with degrees from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy and Temple University, a longtime Navy Reserve Strategic Sealift officer, and a Navy civilian by day. His creative career started accidentally in 2004 after a post-ski t-shirt turned into a full Wilmington apparel company, eventually connecting him to the brewery world. Now he brings that mix of engineering precision and creative instinct to Wilmington Brew Works, the city's only brewery known for its innovative beers, sours, ciders, and 2 unique tap rooms. John's a New Yorker turned Delawarean, a husband and dad of 3 girls, and someone who will try any beer twice, but usually more. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's hear from John Fusco of Wilmington Brew Works. Welcome.
That makes me sound very impressive. I promise you
more.
I'm not.
There is more. Your volunteer work. There's so much that didn't even make it. I try to keep these short. So much to you. So welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So from your perspective, how did you get here?
So how did I get here? Let's start with how did I get to Delaware, I guess.
New Yorker.
Grew up in New York, went to the Merchant Marine Academy. When I graduated, I ended up getting a job as a civilian with the Navy in Philadelphia. A friend of mine from college also working there, got an apartment in Delaware, and I signed a lease sight unseen. I said, that works. And
where was that?
The Village of Fox Point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, random.
Yeah. And moved in there and have never left.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've left the Village of Fox Point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, great place to be, but.
And how did I get here into Wilmington, with Wilmington Brew Works? Like I said, you mentioned t-shirt company. Some friends and I went skiing, got a little drunk. We said, we should make some t-shirts that are funny.
Yeah.
And this was like 2004.
Right.
You know, when everyone was wearing funny t-shirts. So we did. We started a little t-shirt company. We sold them around Trolley Square.
Wow.
We made some for Logan House and places like that. And then realized that making custom t-shirts was more fun.
Yeah.
I ended up meeting my partner, Craig, up at Pico's Liquor Store.
Yep.
He asked me to design a logo for his brewery. A couple of years later, he was opening another brewery and said, why don't you come on board? And I haven't looked back.
And here you are.
Here I am.
And you said you started out part-time, 12 hours. And
that's what he sold me. He's like, it's going to be like 12 hours a month, just some graphic work here and there.
Yeah.
And then we opened and I didn't see my family a whole summer.
Yeah. And you guys have such a unique vibe, brand. Before we get into the marketing, for someone that's never been to Wilmington Brew Works, what is Wilmington Brew Works?
Okay. So you mentioned we're the only brewery in Delaware, in Wilmington right now, not in Delaware, in Wilmington, which I actually think is a shame. I can't think of a city the size of Wilmington that has one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a shame.
I went to Richmond, Virginia for something, and there were 30.
Every corner.
Yeah. So we're the only brewery in town right now after Stitch House closed up and after Iron Hill left. I hear Iron Hill might be opening back up. So
rumors are swirling.
Yeah. But we are in a 100-year-old building on the north side. The border of Wilmington actually used to go right through the building, and it actually has moved over, thankfully, because way back in the day, apparently County Fire and Wilmington Fire would fight over who would address issues at the building.
I'm sure there were many.
Yeah. Because it was an old electroplating facility for years, and before that, it was a chemical laboratory owned by, of course, DuPont.
Yeah, sure.
It is a long, narrow building with big windows. So it's kind of like we try to make it reminiscent of a German beer hall, maybe a little miniature. So there's big tables for everyone to sit down, big windows. There's not a lot of TVs on the wall or anything. It's really about sitting and enjoying a beer and enjoying a conversation around that. So it was made to be family friendly, approachable by all. We have a nice outdoor space, both out front and out back, a beer garden. We have live music every Friday and Saturday. And then our brewer and my partner, Craig, is really just a wizard with the beers he makes. So he makes something for every style that you might want. So it's always fun to see what he's going to come up with next.
Yeah, and I feel like every time I get a flight there, they're all so different colored.
Yes.
Like they're very, very unique and like different from, kind of like you said, very different from one another. And whenever I do a flight, I'm always like, this is my chance to explore.
Yeah.
But every time they're like colorful almost sometimes. Like it's like a beautiful flight.
Yeah, one of the things he discovered on early on was how to really just make a great sour beer. I don't want to say a milkshake sour. They started off with lactose. We actually took the lactose out, and it's kind of like just a hazy fruited sour right now. But they have become really popular for us.
Yeah.
And the flavors and the real fruit that he uses really bring out the color. So whether it's the blackberry vanilla or the cherry vanilla lime or tangerine,
they're so good. Yeah. They're so
everyone's
good.
going to have a fun color and a fun flavor behind it.
Right. So you mentioned that you were a skier and you happened to be drunk on that ski trip. So have you always been a beer guy, or is this like a newfound love?
Yeah, I think I've always been a beer guy. If you are a sailor at all, you need to be a beer guy.
Yeah.
And then let's see. I first got into craft beer like 2006. I went to Kennett Brew Fest.
Nice.
We
had them on the podcast.
Yeah, which is really fun now to go back to Kennett Brew Fest as a brewer,
right?
And see it from the other side. But I really kind of got into it then, and I drank a lot of beer.
Yep.
And people always say to me, John, you're an engineer, you like beer, why don't you homebrew? And I said, there's a lot of people making great beer. Why am I going to add my swill to it?
No, I have my talents.
Yeah.
I'll stick to what I'm good at. We outsource what we're not.
Exactly.
So speaking of your talents, you are, the man behind all of the branding and the naming and the logos and the swag. You guys have great merch. Where does all of your inspiration come from? It's always so unique and so cool. I love all your cans.
Well, thank you. I probably design 75% of the cans.
Nice.
Not all of them are me. I try and bring in some local artists if I can.
Yeah.
So two of the ones I have on display. This one's by Tim Miller. He's a tattoo artist.
That's so
for
sweet.
Twin Flames.
So
this is
cool.
a smoked Hellas. It's actually a 3-series lager run that we did. It's a smoked Hellas and alt beer, and I'm gonna forget what the other one is, but it'll come back to me at some point. And then this one here is by Pat Higgins. He's done a couple IPAs for us that are always really fun, and then the other ones come to me based on the name, and the name comes to us based on
the taste and the ingredients.
Any number of things. We had this playfully pretentious aspect about it when we opened in 2018. It was there were breweries everywhere. They were all popping up, and there are 8 million different beer names out there. And how are you going to separate yourself? So superfluous nomenclature became the naming ethos. So we'll just take big words and we'll combine them into something
and make them crazy.
Yeah, so that's kind of where that came from.
And that one is the one you guys have at like 76ers or 87ers Fieldhouse.
The 76ers Fieldhouse, we serve Varsity Brew.
Got it.
This is usually there if we have it available.
Say, I've seen it there.
They run it through at the Blue Coats and the Blue Rocks.
And the Blue Rocks, yeah.
Yeah, so we have, but we have Varsity Brew, which is just a Northeast Pale Ale, and we have over at the Blue Rocks, we have Mr. Celery's.
Yeah.
Woohoo
Forgot
Brew.
You guys had that there.
Brew,
Yes.
It's actually the same beer as Varsity Brew. So
nice.
We just changed the label during the summer. Yeah,
it's so awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, they're great partners over there. We love being a part of Wilmington, and they are.
And you have like beer nights there, and I have a lot of friends that will go, and they're like, I don't even know there's a baseball game happening. Like we're strictly there because the Wilmington Brew Works beers are cheaper that night.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Glad
so great. I mean, I feel like Wilmingtonians, and maybe you're learning this, especially from being New York, like Delawareans are very loyal to Delaware brands, and then even more specifically Wilmington.
I have lived here in Delaware now longer than I've lived in New York, which is very hard for me to say. But like I feel the same way. I have a lot of pride for things in Delaware, a lot of pride for things in Wilmington, and so I completely understand that, and I agree with it.
We're loyal. We're loyal to a fault.
Loyal bunch.
Yeah. So you also handle all of the content and social media.
I do.
To go from being and doing Navy, all the things you're doing with the Navy, right? Yeah. To now you're posting on Instagram and Facebook, like
it's completely different.
How has that shift happened in your life?
I don't know. I think I always had just a knack for concise language, so social media is good for that. There's only so much room you can put in. I kind of taught myself how to take pictures when video became a thing. I had to teach myself how to do that.
Yep.
I think when we were opening, the partners, we were all looking at it. And I think I had strong opinions about what we were posting. And I said, this isn't good. And then I just took it over and I never gave it back.
Nice. Nice. So what is your strategy on social media now?
Strategy. there are so many breweries out there that are planning their stuff. Because I work a full-time job in Philadelphia every day. So I try and make my stuff much more in the moment. So it's like, this is a beer we have now. Let's look at what's funny. How can we make people laugh?
Yep. I think humor is the way to their hearts.
Yeah. How can we get some engagement? Like up at Brew Works North, the guys just filmed like a Die Hard parody, which was great. So
it's great.
We just posted that the other day because, all of our specialty cocktails up there are named after Die Hard because it's the best Christmas movie.
Of course.
After Charlie Brown.
People debate that. That's a big debate this time of year.
One thing, like I think I said this, sparking conversation. That's what we want to do. Like
especially over a beer.
Yeah. Always.
So how did Brewworks North come to be?
Brewworks North came to be last winter.
Yeah.
We were approached.
Still fairly new.
Yeah. We were approached and said, hey, this space is coming available. Are you interested? And we kind of talked it over. We looked at the market and we didn't see how we could say no.
Right.
It was, there was Belpon Brewing was there for 5 years. They were great in that space. So they nurtured a community there and they were leaving. So we figured we could fill in. But because we're only 2.5 miles away from the main tap room, we decided that we needed to make it a completely unique space. So that space is much more sports and games focused. We've got cornhole and darts and pool tables and foosball.
Totally different feel.
Yeah. TVs for sports. We're always trying to have the Ocho on with whatever crazy weird sports are on there.
Nice.
If it's Sunday, we'll have football. But I was watching field hockey the other day. My daughter's a field hockey player, so I was watching collegiate field hockey, and I thought it was awesome.
Is she in college?
No, she plays in Mount Pleasant.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice. So you're a North Wilmington guy.
Yeah, I live right up there.
Nice. So of all the designs, all the beers you guys have put out, which has been your favorite beer and which has been your favorite design?
Yes. All of them.
It's like asking your favorite child.
Yeah, the best beer in the land is the beer in my hand, right? So I don't have a favorite child. It's very hard for me to do that. As far as the beers, I have styles that I really like. I used to be a big IPA guy. I still am, but I'm in my 40s. I can't drink as many IPAs as I could.
I'm a one and done.
Yeah, the lagers.
I'm a one and done with IPAs.
Yeah, so the lagers that we're doing right now, I really like what Craig is doing. This smoked one I've been drinking a lot right now because it's really good.
I like the can a lot.
Yeah. We have a Lucre tap, which pours a really thick Czech style foam. So when we have a beer on that tap, I'm usually getting whatever's out of there. As far as can labels, some of my favorites are the ones that were the most popular. So I'd have to go with Railcar One, which was when Biden became president.
Okay, cool.
Got national recognition, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Ryan Cormier wrote an article about it that ended up being syndicated, across the country, which is really awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, my parents were reading the newspaper in New York, and they're like, "John, your beer's there." They actually opened the paper while I was on the phone with them, not knowing, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then Delaware, which is just so much fun.
We got to talk about that.
Let's talk about Delaware.
All right, so today is 6 years since the Delaware incident happened.
The OG Delaware.
The OG, the one that was like running around Trolley Square, like in these backyards.
Ooh,
like,
mama.
Right over there.
Yeah.
So that was 6 years ago. The only reason I know that is because my husband was on the news for it, had like a little bit of a viral moment, and we like latched onto that. It was right before Christmas. All his Christmas gifts that year, people gave him bears. He was live Instagramming it. Like he went all in on it. So when that beer came out, we were in line to get it.
Yeah.
I bought the t-shirt. I still have the t-shirt. I should have wore, I don't know if it would fit, but I had the t-shirt. So we were all in on the Delaware. So you guys jumped on that.
We did.
Because you just said
got really lucky.
Yes. You jumped right on that.
We had a beer coming out that weekend. I don't know what day of the week it happened, but we had an IPA that we were going to drop that weekend, just on tap. It was a new one. We had a name, but we weren't too thrilled about it.
Right.
And something about me called the guys. I said, "Hey, we should call it Delaware.
Let's just jump on it."
And they loved it. I came up with a design very quickly, and we released it. And we kind of just hopped on the zeitgeist, which
people loved it.
Yeah, and
it was a huge deal.
Yeah, I tell my partners, I tell Craig, I'm like, listen, the label's going to sell the first beer, but the product is going to sell the second, third, and fourth, right? So we ended up bringing in. This was before we had our own canning line, so we brought in.
Because you did cans for these.
We brought in a company.
I think I still have it.
Yeah, we brought in a company that does mobile canning. They come and they set up.
Cool.
And we ran a big run of those beers with a special label, kind of looked at the map of where the bear had been.
Yep.
And we had a line outside. It was one of the best beer releases we ever did. It was great.
It was a huge viral moment in Delaware. Like people were glued. It was probably like when OJ Simpson was in the chase. Like we were glued to the TV that day.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, that's my friend's backyard. Like, wait, I know that house.
Yeah, it was amazing. It
was the best.
So, we sold that beer and we've brought it back every year since.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's coming back the weekend before Christmas this year.
Okay, nice. So it's this time of year typically?
Yeah. It's always in December. We usually try and do it once during the late summer, late spring, just to bring it out because it's a fun beer. But one thing that we have changed from the original recipe was that we've made it more of a bear of a beer. It's like 10% now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it used to be a
you were
6.5%, 7% beer. It was just a regular 7% IPA.
That's probably why I liked it.
Yeah, let's bump it up a little bit.
Yeah, make it a bear of a beer. I love that. I love that.
Really
and
good.
you jumped on it. You sold merch.
We did sell merch,
which was also genius. So I got right in on the merch chain, and I feel like that was one of the first moments that like I saw people like really jump on and like capitalize on like a recent event, like something like that. I feel like you guys crushed it.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. We did posters, we did T-shirts.
You did the Instagrams.
Yeah, we did little, and I do the Instagram like a couple of years ago. I was in California for work, so we had little Christmas ornaments of the Delaware.
Nice.
And I brought him all around California and took pictures of him at the beach, and then I made a little story about him coming home for the holidays, which was great.
Cute.
Yeah, it was fun.
So totally switching gears. You're from New York. You're now a Delaware guy, and you've now lived here longer than you lived in New York.
Yes.
Crazy to say.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Delaware? You're clearly raising a family here.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, so for one, I grew up in the suburbs of New York City, and the area, the topography just reminds me a lot of home.
That's good.
Westchester County,
yep.
And then like Chateau Country here with the rolling hills, and so it reminds me of home. That's the first thing. But I really love the community here. Mm-hmm. We are a small town, a small big city, and
totally. That's why I love it.
We're in the shadow of Philadelphia, but we're our own thing.
Yep.
We have a culinary scene here that is really punches far above its weight.
Totally agree.
The food here is amazing.
Totally
the restaurants.
Agree. I feel like we're so underrated.
Yeah, I love all the things that Wilmington has to offer.
Yeah.
In addition to the fact that it's close to Philadelphia, it's close to Baltimore, it's close to DC,
places.
It's close to New York, but we are kind of away from the problems that some of those bigger cities have. So I can't say enough great things about it, and I've convinced people to move here. So
I love it. Yeah. I love it. If there's one thing that you could be known for in the craft beer world for Wilmington Brew Works, what would it be?
For Wilmington Brew Works, I was talking to Craig actually earlier today, and there's two things. I think the first would be the beer of Wilmington, right?
Yep.
When you
Which
come
I feel
to
like
Wilmington,
is a for sure win, but
we want to be the beer of Wilmington. We're not looking to become as big as Dogfish. We're not looking to become a regional brewery that is sold up and down the East Coast. We want to be the beer of Wilmington. We're not big enough to go any further. So we want local restaurants to have our beer on tap when you go there, or when someone's coming to visit this area. And they go to a hotel bar. Get a Brew Works beer, which would be great, and then come visit the tap room, of course. But the other thing is, from the brewer's perspective, is maybe if it tastes good, it is good, right? Craig doesn't always brew to style guidelines. In the brewing world, there, a lager is supposed to be this, an IPA, a fruited sour is supposed to be this, and that. And he looks at it and says, well, what can I change? What can I make it a little different and unique? Mm-hmm. And he doesn't brew to style guidelines, which is why, the few times we've submitted stuff to, for awards, we don't get recognized, even though it tastes great.
Right.
And they're very popular.
Mm-hmm.
If it tastes good, it is good. So I think the originality that Craig brings to the brewing process is something that I definitely love as a beer drinker. Mm-hmm. And I think as the brewery owner, co-owner, I think that's something I would love to be remembered for.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you guys are in such a unique space. Like you said, it's kind of like a long and skinny space. You have kind of tried to mimic like a German beer hall. That space, like I remember when it was announced that you guys were going to go ahead on this venture and open up a brewery in the city limits. Like it was a big deal at the time. I remember. And how many years? You said 2018?
We opened in the summer of 2018. I think I first stepped foot on the property in September of 17. When it was
smokes.
Dirt and puddles. The floor inside was dirt.
It was gross.
They were taking out an ungodly amount of dirt for
environmental and stuff. I'm sure.
Reasons. Yeah.
I'm sure that place was a nightmare.
Yes.
So you guys saw the vision.
Yeah.
Like, did people think you were crazy?
You know, the only comments we really got were like, I hope you're not using the groundwater. We're using city water. It's fine.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah. No, I think people were really happy that we were coming into that area. The north side of Wilmington, I think, is a little neglected sometimes. Yep. So by opening there and kind of blazing, a path,
right,
it led the way for Pizzeria Metro to open up right next to us, Sleeping Bird Coffee to open up right next to us, and then now we've got Scout Coffee down the street. Yep. Tuasamé is a little bit further down.
Yep.
We've got some things coming in on that side of town, so we're really excited to, I don't want to say jumpstart the growth, but
you've significantly helped. And like we talked when you got here, we've sold some houses in that area that if you had asked me 10 years ago, no way would they ever be selling for what they are. And I feel like that area is becoming like, the next little Trolley, the next little Italy, whatever. It's like, it's a happening area right now.
Yeah. I mean, folks from the 9th Ward and folks from like the, Triangle, thank you. I was going to say Triangle, but then I got that confused. Yeah. Folks from the Triangle, folks from there are so happy to have us there. I think the number of people that come in and say, I grew up down the street, which is, and then they left for whatever reason. And, that area is coming back up again. It's great. Best. Yeah.
So we talked about the Sunday trifecta. For anyone that's never been, they've never been to Sleeping Bird, never been to Metro. Tell us what you consider the Sunday trifecta.
I think the Sunday trifecta for me would be starting out at Sleeping Bird, getting their cinnamon buns are fantastic. Their lattes are really good. An avocado toast if you're into that. If you
can get a cinnamon bun.
They have them now. They don't want that anymore. That used to be a thing.
Because now they got the donut shop. Yeah.
But like, start out there, have something to eat, have a little breakfast, have some coffee. You can jump over to Metro and get a pizza.
Yep. Which are like I don't know if they're ever voted best of Delaware or what, but their pizzas are so good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
They are so good. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I have a lot of friends that get just takeout there. Like they don't even eat there; they just go get it takeout, like normal pizza shop.
Yeah. It's fantastic pizza. They're great people.
Yeah.
And then grab that pizza, bring it over to the tap room.
Yep.
And grab a flight of beer, have some pizza, and just spend the day relaxing.
Yeah, it's the best.
And during the summer, when you can sit outside, it's great. Yeah.
Outside is the best. You guys have a great outside area. It's like a big, what would you call it, a pergola? Like pergola over top?
Pergola's out front, yeah.
And I've got some really good real estate Instagram pictures there. Like the lighting for some reason always hits out there. And even in the back, like your back space is always great. My mom had her, oh my gosh, I don't want to say the wrong birthday, 60th birthday party in your event, like at the event space. Yeah, the Alamo Room. Talk about that. Whenever I go on Facebook, people are like, where can I host an event for X amount of people? And everyone always comments the Alamo Room.
Yeah, the Alamo Room has been, talk about marketing. It's really been a bit of a marketing engine for us because getting the word out about the brewery is tough. Not everyone is in the brewery feed, even if they were the type of person that might come to Wilmington Brew Works.
Right.
So the Alamo Room has been a way for us to introduce people to Wilmington Brew Works, but it's also now become a really great space for events that we put on and then events that you put on. So birthday parties, engagement parties, weddings. We've had a few of those. This time of year, almost every night we've got a holiday party in there for some company, which is great.
I'm sure you're hopping in there.
So it's a multimodal space.
Yeah.
We've had comedy shows. We have a comedy show coming up at the end of the month, which is great. Yeah.
I got to look that one up.
Yeah, he's his website says internationally touring comedian, so we'll go with that.
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah, he contacted us and say, hey, I'm going to be in the area. You got anything? And we had one night open right before Christmas. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Heck yeah. So, Did you buy tickets?
You have to buy tickets. Yeah, I haven't bought them yet, but yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, Stephen Farmer's his name. So.
Okay, is he funny? Have you looked him up?
I've watched some of his videos on Instagram.
Right, you clearly said yes.
Looks good. Yeah. So he'll be there on the 19th, and then we're having a makers market next week.
Nice.
That'll be on Tuesday night. So we do that. That's with the guys from Lucky Shot Coffee Company.
Cool.
So we've got that coming in. We do stuff with Delaware Shakespeare back there, which is a lot of fun.
I went to a networking event back there. Do you still do networking stuff back there?
Yeah. If somebody wants to do an event there, we hook them up. We've had like a bunch of lawyers and judges come in, do just a like a continuing education type thing. We have a bunch of
a spot to do some continuing ed.
Yeah, like they do it during the day and then have a happy hour afterwards, which is great. And now we've actually started renting out some space up at Brew Works North as well. So we have some tables off to the side that we'll kind of reserve under a little bit of a rental so that you can have, a smaller party for 20 to 50 people.
Right. Birthday party or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll reserve those tables for you, which is nice.
That's so fun. So now that you're here in Delaware, what are some other Delaware brands or businesses that you guys love to support and like to go to? I'm sure Metro's your pizza go-to.
Yeah, Metro's pizza go-to at home. If I didn't say Mazzella's, my middle daughter would kill me. So
that's like that's your takeout?
Yeah, we got to go to Mazzella's.
Mazzella's is insane.
Yeah, they're always there. It's great. I go in there. They know me by name. They write notes.
I love that. That's me at Gianni's.
Yeah, Taylor writes notes to my daughter on the pizza box, which is great. Other Delaware businesses, I like to stay local. So a locally owned restaurant like Lafette or Snuff Mill, the House of William & Mary are some of my favorites. It helps that they all serve our beer, but that's not why.
They do?
Yeah. Each one of those has this available, which is great.
I've only been in Lafette once, and I did not know that, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
Big Lafette fan. Only went once. Again, I mean, you got to get a reservation like weeks in advance right now.
So I knew... the guys.
Is that the Snuff Mill guys, or who is it?
No, they actually were from the Coin.
The Coin. Okay.
Yeah. So they were at the Coin, then they opened this up, and we worked with them at the Coin when they were tearing out the old Concord Diner to turn it into Lafette. They had a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't need, and we were in the process of building Brew Works North. So there are some very familiar restaurant booth type things in the pool room up at Brew Works North that came from the Concord Diner.
Nice.
So they've been really great partners. I really love everything that the history here in the area has to offer. So, excuse me, my wife and I are members at both Hagley, Winterthur. We take the kids.
You said Winterthur right.
Oh, yeah.
Here, remember.
Yes. We take the kids there all the time.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you, I think we're going tonight, actually, for the Christmas stuff. I have been in the house maybe once. Yeah. But we just wander the grounds. We go.
It's beautiful.
We have picnics. During COVID, we were there every day.
I'm sure.
Just to get out of the house.
I'm sure.
So I love things like that. And exploring everything that our area has to offer. So there's so much culture here, which is really cool.
It's the best.
The Delaware Art Museum.
I'm just super passionate about all the local Delaware businesses. I feel like I even struggle. Like I'm a Dunkin' girl. I definitely struggle because I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but I feel so guilty every time I walk in there. But we're also huge Cafe Karma fans. We love Brouhaha. So like I do hit all those places as well, but sometimes I just need a Dunkin', but every time I feel so guilty. Oh, it's okay. But I always try to remind myself, I'm like, one person owns this Dunkin', so whatever.
I say the same thing about beer. When people are like, I go to someone's house, like, oh, I'm sorry, I've only got Bud Light or Miller Light. Or like, listen, every beer has its place.
Exactly.
That place might not be on my mantle, but I'm gonna drink it. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Like I saved my Delaware can. Like I'm not saving the Miller Light can.
No, but every beer has its place. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you do have a local. We've talked a lot about being local and being loyal. So you guys do have a local following, I would say, very loyal. Do you have like your regulars that are there all the time?
Yeah, both locations definitely have regulars. We also have we call it the Cellarman Circle. It is like the mug club that doesn't use mugs, because the
mug club that doesn't use mugs.
Yeah, in fact, I put a billboard up on Alapocus that said the coolest mug club in Wilmington doesn't use mugs, because every year we order steins from Germany, like real half-liter German-made steins that are Wilmington Brew Works. Are different every year. It is one of the largest checks we write every year buying those, but it's also one of the longest design projects I do each year as we find a model, a stein model, and put a nice lid on it. And I'm really sorry I didn't bring one here.
It's okay.
But so, we sell that membership around Thanksgiving every year. It's a 1-year membership. We only have 7 memberships left.
Wow. For next year?
For 2026. Wow. Yeah. So I think it's $160. It comes with the stein. You get discounts when you use the stein. You bring it in. We don't hold on to it. You can bring it home. It's a cool thing.
I don't want to be responsible for that either.
Yeah, but when you bring it in, we'll clean it. We'll fill it. You get a bigger pour for a cheaper price, and then you get discounts every week
and
on
you look
stuff.
Cool. You probably look so much cooler.
People walk around like, what are these guys drinking out of the stein? And then if you have that stein discount is lifetime. So every time you bring in that stein, whether it's from the first year we did it to the most recent, we're going to fill that stein for you, which is really fun.
That's amazing. Yeah. Cool.
So regulars, we have people that really like us, but we have the occasionals too that come in. I haven't been here in a while, and
you're just as welcome.
We just want to sit down at a table, talk to the person next to you, start up a conversation, meet somebody new. The number of people I've met through the brewery, and not because I'm an owner, not because I'm on the Instagram feed, just because I'm at the brewery and just I talk to people. People are happy.
Friends. They're drinking a beer. They're out and about. They're happy. Like they're in good mood. So they're probably a little more approachable. More excited to talk to someone. I love that. So we talked a little bit how the North Wilmington location's a little different. You guys got that from Bellefonte. We're over a year in, right?
No, we opened to the public the last weekend of June.
Oh, it's that new.
It's that new.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Opening a bar in Wilmington in June, not a good idea.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Horrible idea.
We were shooting for late April, early May.
And just then, didn't happen.
Believe it or not, we had to run in some legal interference. We had to get a law passed. So we were down in Dover for that.
Wow.
Trying to change the law so we can have 2 breweries. It's a whole thing.
Even though it was already a brewery?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yes.
So how else, we talked about how it's more of like a sports bar, more TVs. How else is that location different from your Wilmington location?
So we run some leagues there, which is really fun. So we have a cornhole league on Wednesday nights. We have a dart league.
You run it?
We run it. We have a cornhole league on Wednesday nights, a dart league on Thursday nights. So the next session of the leagues will be starting up in probably January timeframe. Heyday Athletic just started a Thursday night cornhole league at Brew Works North. We're talking about doing like a pool league.
So you have way more space.
There's a lot of space there. Big open area. We just started sponsoring the Wilmington Rugby Union, so they're going to be doing some events at both North and Miller Road, which is great. I'm still having a trouble time referring to both places. Brew Works North, we know, but like Wilmington Brew Works,
the OG.
Yeah, sometimes they call it Flagship Tap Room. Sometimes they call it Miller Road.
Right.
But like the OG Wilmington Brew Works, But North is just it's a cool vibe to hang out at. We stay open later. We are 21 plus more than we're family friendly. So up there, we're only family friendly on Saturday and Sunday, noon to 6.
Yep.
The rest of the time, we're trying to be 21 plus. Because adults need a place to go out too.
Yeah. Fair. We talked a little bit about this before. Like I personally don't mix kids and drinking. For me, like if I'm drinking, I want that to be a break for my kids. I'm gonna get a babysitter.
I get it.
But not everyone's just fortunate.
We built it to be family friendly. We want to have families in there because that is the culture that we want to be a part of.
Yeah.
We all have kids. For the most part, most of us have kids, and
they're part of life.
Yeah, we want to bring them out. Like I bring my kids there. They have practically grown up in the space.
So cool. What's your age range?
So my oldest is a sophomore in high school, and my youngest is a 5th grader.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So they really have grown up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any new beers? Anything new, exciting coming soon?
For the holidays,
anything you could tease?
Well, so the big thing is Delabear's coming back.
Delabear's coming back.
Delabear's coming back.
Heard it here first. He says once a year.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a. So we did a pumpkin lager earlier this year and last year, which was very successful.
People love pumpkin beers.
Yeah, and it's not a pumpkin. It's not as heavy. So we are going to kind of tap that again, but instead of doing a pumpkin lager, we're going to do a gingerbread lager.
Cool.
So that should be coming out in a couple of weeks, and that'll be both on draft and in cans.
Nice. That's got to be a fun candid design.
Yeah, it's already done. I can show you a tease later on, but it's on my phone. And then we currently have that Pie Girls apple pie cider, which is great for your Thanksgiving table, great for your Christmas table, dinner table. And then we should have the Cider Rosa Cranberry Sage, which is a kind of a Christmassy drink.
Fun.
And then we're going to get back into some of those darker beers for the winter.
Yep.
So we'll get into
bulking season.
Our dark chocolate stout, which is called Harmonic Oscillation.
Nice.
We have our Irish stout on right now.
This is not my world.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Every beer has its place. So the other thing is, like, we are not an IPA house. We're not a sour house.
No, you have a little bit of everything.
We try and have a little bit of everything. Yeah. Lagers, ale, sours, ciders. We try and,
That's why you're so colorful in the flights.
That's it. Yeah. So we try and have something for everybody.
I love that. I love that. Well, I feel like that's a good place to end it. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
No. Thank you so much for all you guys are doing for Wilmington. This is great.
This is just my fun little passion project.
Thank you for having me on. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, it was so fun. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Where can we follow you if people want to check you guys out?
Facebook, Wilmington Brew Works and Brew Works North. They're separate feeds. Instagram, Wilmington Brew Works and Brew Works North. And then our website, you can go and see what is on tap at any moment at either location.
Very cool.
There's a map of all the places that we're on tap in Newcastle County, which is great. And information about the Alamo Room and the Brew Works North rent spaces are all on the website, wilmingtonbrewworks.com.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Another awesome episode of Life on the Ave. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.